I'll turn first to Karen Tse, and she's the founder and CEO of International Bridges to Justice. And I want to ask you first, if you can talk about what first inspired you to found IBJ, International Bridges to Justice. What does the absence of access to justice mean for people on the ground? And where have you seen concrete progress in difficult contexts? Thank you.
Good morning. First, I want to say it's so exciting to be here as we all come from many different places, and yet we come together as one for this platform and in the launch of the Access to Justice and Law Working Group. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for World Bank for making this happen. My name is Karen Tse, and I founded International Bridges to Justice actually based on an experience that I had back in 1994, being in Cambodia. I lived in Cambodia for a number of years, and walking into a prison and seeing a 12-year-old boy who was tortured and didn't have access to a lawyer, and there was no legal system. It was just a broken down legal system. And ironically, even at that time, what I realized in speaking also with the government is that there was a huge window of opportunity for us to work together, and they recognized immediately that for social and economic development, it was critical that we also figure out how we build systematic early access to a lawyer. So based on this, and also then speaking with members of the government and defenders throughout the world, I realized that we could start an organization that focused on systematic early access, working together in the development realm for this. Since that time, what we've realized is that we've been joined by, throughout 52 countries, defenders who have stood up and really in very, very challenging circumstances, trying to do the seemingly impossible, where there's no legal system sometimes, or there's a legal system, but it's gapped, and it's gapped everywhere in the world, and them saying, we can stand up, because what we saw all the way through and continue to see is that oftentimes people are just simply lost in the system. Someone goes in at 14, found innocent at 17, and then released at 40 because they're just lost, which, as you all know, in this day and age, when we talk about technology and everything else, it makes no sense, right? How could we track a widget throughout the world and not track a person who is lost? We see people who are every day tortured because it's viewed as the cheapest form of investigation, or they're in the system but simply don't have a lawyer. So I want to also say a shout out to our defenders throughout the world, because many of them are watching online. So our courageous defenders, keep on keeping on, because this is what you tell me every day, and we see this as a system going forward. But also, we have seen individually, these defenders have taken collectively over 500,000 cases, but it's really more than the cases. So for instance, Harshi, one of our justice makers in Sri Lanka, took a case where a woman had been in prison. She was picked up for stealing or having a small amount of drugs on her, and when she was picked up, the police said, if you don't confess immediately, you'll be in prison for 6 or 7 years. You'll probably never see your children. And she confessed, and it turned out to be much worse. She was there for 9 years. She went to court 53 times, and each time the judge said, where's your lawyer? And she said, well, I don't have one, and they sent her back. She received a justice maker, and she was out almost immediately. So these are just some of the pieces, but I think what is critical is that the defenders do not work alone within a system. They have to work together within the justice system. And it is also with the strength and partnership with the governments and all the agencies that many of these things have been possible. Am I out? Am I 3 minutes? Okay, great. Keep talking. So just in terms of things that I've seen on the ground, it's been tremendous. International Bridges to Justice was founded in the year 2000, so we're 25 years old. It's really about the long game. And we really can understand the benefits of roundtable discussions where people are sitting side by side and making commitments. We also see that these are things that happen over time. Sometimes we're calm and we want to sit together and it works. And then you think, what happens in times of conflict? So I'll give 2 quick examples. One example is in Myanmar, where we came together and we began training defenders and looking at how we establish things within the justice system, where there was not a system before for systematic early access. We were able to establish 5 pilots throughout the country. And then, as you all know, there was a military coup, which everyone thought this is going to be impossible. Now, I will not say that there are not tremendous, tremendous, tremendous challenges. And yet, I will say that despite the fact that there are many, many challenges, that because the judges and the prosecutors and the police had agreed into a process and procedure of when people are arrested, even when there was, I remember very clearly, there was a day when there were 96 kids who were arrested, and they were arrested for banging pots and pans and demonstrating. And at that point, the judges called one of our defender offices and said, hey, under the laws, because these are laws that need to be implemented, we have agreed that we will contact the defender. Now, not all the kids got out. 5 of them still stayed, but the majority were released. And I think this, to me, is also how we develop processes in certain times and then are able to move forward into the future.
Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing your very inspiring experience and real life examples of why we really need to focus on access to law and justice for all. Karen, thank you first. IBJ's reach can be seen in the numbers, having touched the lives of tens of millions across 52 countries. But its real impact lies in driving system change and shifting mindsets. How is this transformation taking shape, and what gives you hope?
Okay, we have 5 minutes for all of us? Yeah, I'll speak really fast. Okay, great. I always talk about the fact that it's about people, processes, and products. All of them are critical. I see hope so much in the people who say, even when there's no resources, the defenders and judges and prosecutors, we will keep on, keep on. The processes that are developed and sitting together in the roundtables, in finding out that people are coming to police stations Tuesdays, Thursdays, and the police are like, yes, we agreed upon this, so they're staying by it. And then the products. One of the most exciting things right now is that while we have products with Wiki Defense and tools like apps, right now with digital public infrastructure, it's amazing what can take place. And we've developed something called Kanun Varta, which is a chatbot, a prototype of it, where illiterate prisoners can say what their charges are and then hear back what they are. I think the possibilities are endless. The main thing I want to say in our 5 minutes, sorry you guys, is that we, and I've got a great group of lawyers, also have to really make a commitment and band together, which is why this is so important for this law and access to justice working group. We have to band together because, look, it's sort of like an open secret that the amount of resources that goes to this is actually appalling. I was speaking with the Minister of Justice yesterday, and he said, I think the World Bank's commitment has been something like 2%. We can correct me if I'm wrong. But it's how can we actually emphasize and bring this to life if the financial resources are not there? It's the financial resources and also seeing how can we commit to this long term, because the work is not going to be done in a short time. It's long term. Let's make the commitment, and I think we can all do it. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Resources, commitment, visibility, for sure.